Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of LTU Sports Report. I'm Ella Hopper alongside Peyton Miller and we're about to talk about all things LTU sports you may have missed.
And stick around because then we'll take a look at this week's schedule for LTU sports. The Lawrence Tech men's volleyball team dominated Tuesday night, sweeping Rochester Christian in straight sets 3-0. The Blue Devils controlled the match from the start, winning 25-13, 25-12, and 25-14, all while hitting efficiently and shutting down their opponent offensively. Akron School led the way with a strong all-around performance, contributing on offense and defense, while Troy Horvath helped run a balanced attack from the setter position. With the win, Lawrence Tech continues to build momentum this season.
The Lawrence Tech men's lacrosse team hit the road Wednesday night to take on Michigan Dearborn, but came up short with a 12-9 loss. The Blue Devils led at the half 8-6, but the third quarter proved to be the turning point. Dearborn responded with 4 unanswered goals to seize control. Leading the way for LTU was Luke Gannon scoring on 4 goals and Brendan Chenevere adding 2. The men's volleyball team battled hard on the road but fell short in straight sets to Indiana Tech. The Blue Devils kept things tight, dropping the 2 final sets 25-23 after pushing late in rallies in both.
Softball opened up conference play by splitting a doubleheader with Northwestern Ohio. The Blue Devils fell 5-0 in Game 1 but bounced back with a strong showing in Game 2. Freshman Natalie Pridemore led the way, throwing a complete game and launching a go-ahead grand slam. She was backed by key offensive contributions from the LTU lineup, helping build a late cushion. The Blue Devils secured a 5-2 win to earn their first conference victory of the season.
Baseball struggled at home, dropping both games of a doubleheader to Aquinas College. In Game 1, the Blue Devils were held scoreless in a 6-0 loss, managing just a few hits while Aquinas capitalized on early opportunities. Game 2 was more competitive, with key contributions from Luke Weinberger and Justin Barrett at the plate, but LTU couldn't hold the lead late, falling 7-4. The Blue Devils now look to bounce back after a tough conference showing.
Men's volleyball picked up a strong road win, defeating Defiance College 3-1. The Blue Devils showcased a balanced attack, finishing with 59 kills and an impressive .333 hitting percentage. Key contributions came from Akron School and Gustavo Machado at the net, while the team's blocking presence helped control the match. After dropping a tight second set, LTU responded by dominating the final 2 sets to secure the victory. The Blue Devils fell to Madonna 22-6 after a tough turnaround following a strong start. LTU came out aggressive early, jumping to a 3-1 lead in the first quarter, behind goals from Brendan Chenevere and Luke Gannon. But momentum quickly shifted as Madonna responded with a big scoring run and took control heading into halftime. Despite the loss, Chenevere and Gannon each finished with 2 goals to lead the Blue Devils, who showed early offensive promise but couldn't keep pace as the game went on. Dylan Porter also broke the single game save record with 25 saves on the day.
Softball split a high-scoring doubleheader with Indiana Tech in an offensive showdown. The Blue Devils dropped Game 1 10-6 despite putting up runs on the board, but responded in Game 2 with a strong offensive performance of their own. LTU's lineup, led by Alyssa Bloomfield and Brenna Crittenden, helped power the bounce-back effort, showcasing depth throughout the order. The split moves the Blue Devils to an even start in the conference play as they continue their home stand.
Lawrence Tech baseball delivered a dominant performance against the University of Michigan Dearborn, picking up a doubleheader sweep, highlighted by wins of 18-1 and 13-3. In Game 1, the Blue Devils wasted no time at the plate, building an early lead and staying aggressive. LTU's offense came alive with consistent hitting, while the pitching staff kept Dearborn quiet, allowing just 1 run. Game 2 followed a similar story, with Lawrence Tech continuing to control the game from start to finish. The Blue Devils once again produced at the plate and backed it up with a strong defensive play. Overall, it was a complete performance for LTU. Strong pitching, timely hitting, and consistent pressure offensively. With the sweep, Lawrence Tech continues to build momentum, heading deeper into conference play.
Last week, men's and women's bowling competed in the NAIA National Championship in Lansing, Michigan. The women's team lost on Thursday and they were knocked out of the tournament on Friday. On the men's side, the team was knocked out of their competition in the quarterfinals, bringing both of their seasons to a close. This week in LTU sports, softball faces Grace Christian in a non-conference doubleheader in Farmington Hills at 2 and 4 p.m. Men's volleyball takes on the Saints of Aquinas at the Don Riddler Fieldhouse for a WAC face-off. And Wednesday, softball heads over to Rochester Christian to face the Warriors in a doubleheader at 3 and 5 p.m.
The men's lacrosse team will also be on the road, traveling to Grand Rapids, Michigan, to take on Aquinas College. The women's lacrosse team will host the Marian University Knights in a WAC showdown at the Blue Devil Stadium. And on Thursday, the men's and women's golf teams are traveling to Shepherdsville, Kentucky to compete in the annual Heritage Hill Collegiate Tournament.
Track and field opened up their outdoor season by traveling to Marion, Indiana to compete in the Marion Invite. Softball will host Ohio Christian University for a non-conference series, and men's volleyball will host Goshen College at the Don Riddler Fieldhouse.
And on Saturday, softball travels to Defiance, Ohio to take on Defiance College for a conference series. Baseball is also on the road, traveling to Adrian, Michigan to play against Siena Heights University. Men's lacrosse will travel to Indiana Tech to take on the Warriors, and women's lacrosse will travel to Bethel University. Men's volleyball will be back in action hosting Bethel University for their third game of the week.
Thank you all for joining us for another episode of the LTU Sports Report. I'm Ella Hoppert here with Peyton Miller, and we're here to give you all the coverage of LTU sports.
Tune in next week for another deep dive into LTU athletics.